Do you think your dog simply lies there, sleeps, eats, and goes on walks every day? The truth is, you may not realize it, but he's quietly doing so much, every single day, just for you. Not for praise, not for food, not because he was told to, but because you are his entire world. I know there are days when you're tired, nights when you're silent, and mornings when you don't speak to anyone. But have you ever noticed? Your dog is always there, patient, gentle, never leaving. Today, I want to share with you 16 small but deeply meaningful things your dog does every day. Quietly, consistently, and lovingly. Once you understand them, you might never look at him the same way again. And the first one might surprise you, because it happens at the exact moment you think you're the only one awake in the stillness of your sleeping home. There's something very special about dogs that not everyone notices. No matter how early you wake up, no matter how quietly you move, his eyes are open, like he's been waiting for that exact moment to see you. He doesn't make a sound, doesn't jump up, doesn't interrupt, just looks at you, quietly checking that you're there. Such a simple gesture, but it holds a whole world of love. No one taught him that, but he does it, to make sure you're okay. It's not worry, it's attachment. How can a heart be so loyal? And when you're deep in sleep after a long day, have you noticed how still the house becomes? No footsteps, no door tapping, no begging for food. Just complete silence, because he's doing everything he can not to disturb you. Sometimes, your dog lies under your bed, breathing so softly, it's almost silent. He even tries to freeze, just so you can rest completely. People say love is giving, without expecting anything in return. And maybe, just maybe, he understands that better than anyone. And then, when you leave your room, have you seen where he chooses to lie? Not the softest spot, not the warmest, but right between you and the door. It seems random, but to him, it's the most important place, the barrier between you and the world outside. As if something were to happen, he'd be the first to know. Not out of fear, not out of duty, just because I'm here to protect you. A silent protector, never asking for credit. And sometimes, just knowing someone is always there, guarding your sleep, is enough to make you feel truly safe. You might think you live unpredictably, that no one could follow your rhythm. But you're wrong. There's someone who lives in sync with you. Every breath, every step, every drawer opening or change in your tone. Your dog doesn't need a watch or a calendar, but he knows exactly when you're usually sad, usually tired, or just need someone there. Strange, isn't it? Sometimes we think we're alone, without realizing that there's always a pair of eyes watching over us, always a heart tuned into our smallest changes. And on those days when your mood is heavy and meals no longer bring joy, have you noticed your dog? Doesn't care for food either. The bowl is there, it still smells great, but he just sniffs and lies down. Not because he's not hungry, but because eating means nothing if you're not okay. In a dog's world, when the leader is sad, the pack waits. Just waits, until the most important person feels a little better. You might think, he's just a dog. But sometimes, just a dog understands human hearts better than any kind word. When you're sick, the world slows down and everything feels heavier. You lie there, unaware of the world around you, but your dog is different. He comes closer, not with toys, not with paws scratching, not with noise. He simply lies next to you, close enough for you to feel his breath. And sometimes, That quiet presence is the one thing that helps you heal. Nobody told him to do it, but somehow, in a magical way, he always knows when you need the softest presence in the world. At night, when the house is quiet, there are soft noises you can't hear. Wind, creaking wood, a faint knock. But he hears them, and instead of barking, he chooses silence. Because you're sleeping, and that sleep deserves to be protected. It's not laziness, and it's not indifference. It's understanding. He still gets up and checks, but gently, so you won't wake. A love that knows when to step back, that knows how to keep peace for someone it loves. How many people can do that? And when you come home, even before you open the door, he knows. You may not have seen him yet, but he's already lifted his head, looking toward where you're about to walk in. No footsteps needed, no clock required. Just a slight shift in the air, a scent carried by the breeze, and his little heart stirs with anticipation. Sometimes love doesn't need words, just a feeling. And dogs, they're better at feeling than anyone else. And do you know one of the most touching things? When you step inside, take off your shoes, and he runs over, not to jump on you, not to ask to go out, but to lower his head and take a deep breath of your shoes. Not because they're interesting, but because they smell like you. They hold your story from the whole day, where you've been, who you met, whether you were happy. You say nothing, but your scent says everything. And he just wants to know, are you safe? Are you okay? On some nights, when you're asleep, there might be a small sound outside the window, and instead of barking loudly, he quietly approaches your bed and gently nudges you. Like an invisible tap on the shoulder, soft but meaningful. No panic, no noise, just a way of saying, something's not right. But don't worry, I'm here. Then he returns to his spot, silent again. Only those who truly understand you choose to signal instead of shout. And somehow, your dog always chooses the gentlest way to care for your emotions. There are days when you don't even know why you're angry. You snap at someone, throw something, sigh heavily, and in that exact moment, he disappears from your sight. Not because he's scared, but because he respects you. He backs off, hides in a corner, still close enough to watch, but not close enough to disturb. As if saying, I'm here. But if you need space, I understand. Everyone has moments of anger, but not everyone can silently wait for you to calm down, the way he always does. Then there are the nights when you don't want to talk to anyone, not even yourself. He lies there, curled up, head resting on his paws, eyes half closed, as if asleep, but his ears still tuned to you. A gentle silence, not imposing, not demanding, just presence, without needing to speak, as if to say, if you need me, I won't sleep. But if you want to be left alone, I'll pretend to dream. Only those who truly care learn to love you quietly like that. And then, the moment you walk out the door, it closes behind you. The world awaits. But on the other side, he lifts his head and begins to breathe in the air you left behind. Not to find anything, just to hold on to you for one more moment. He doesn't whine, doesn't howl, doesn't make noise, just breathes in, like he's trying to keep you close a little longer. If you've ever left the house wondering, does he miss me? The answer is always yes. But he misses you quietly, never trying to make you feel guilty. Because love doesn't always need tears or sound to be real. Sometimes, when you cry, hiding your face in your hands, holding back sobs, he comes close, gently places his nose on your hand, and licks, just once, slowly. not to make you laugh, but to say, I know, and I'm here. A gentle lick, not dramatic, not pushing, but somehow more healing than a human hug. Maybe because he doesn't need to know why you're sad. He just needs you to know that your sadness is not alone. Sometimes, when you sit in silence, lost in thought, he walks over and rests his head on your lap. No calling, no command, just quietly settling in, like that's the safest place for him. And the place where you can feel the truest love, without a single word. It's a small gesture, but it has incredible power to soothe. Sometimes, you don't need someone asking, "Are you okay?" You just need a soft head against your leg, a little warmth, and a steady breath. To remind you, it's okay. You are not alone. Have you ever felt that look? The look a dog gives, straight into your eyes. No blinking, no fear, no turning away. Just looking at you. For a long time, like he's trying to read your thoughts, reach the depths of your soul without a single word. That look can make even the strongest people turn away, because it's so honest, so deep, so pure. Dogs don't look at you out of curiosity. They look out of love. A love so strong it wants to memorize you, just in case. When they blink, you disappear. And finally, there are days when you're tired, collapsed on the couch or the floor. And before you can say anything, before you can wave him over, he gives up his favorite spot for you. The pillow he always lies on, the sunny patch on the floor he loves. That's yours now. And he just lies nearby, breathing softly, without complaint, without demand. That's love. When someone gives up what they enjoy, just so you can feel a little more comfortable. That's not instinct. That's heart. Maybe today you scolded your dog for making a mess. Maybe you forgot to feed him on time, or were too tired to play. But if you've made it this far, I believe you love him deeply. And you'll love him even more, knowing that every day, every hour, he's been loving you too, in his own quiet, loyal, and unconditional way. If this video moved you, if you saw a part of yourself and your dog in these words, leave a comment. Tell me about a moment when your dog did something that overwhelmed you. And if you want to keep exploring the beautiful, subtle love between humans and dogs, don't forget to hit subscribe. Because here, we don't just talk about dogs, we talk about love, the kind only the softest hearts truly understand.